for the robot, you can have a less powerful machine inside the robot because the other services are running on different machine inside the network. We have seen indeed that, okay, we had prepared the simulation with all the processes of the robot, but we have seen that to that simulation, we added a custom package that in this case was a simple chatter, was a simple talker listener, but in the future can be like object recognition that we want to add to our obstacle avoidance, because also depending on specific object, we want to have a different behavior of the robot. But we know that the object recognition is wasting a lot of resources. So with this distributed way, we can add this. We can create a container that incorporate this object recognition. We can upload in the registry, and we can deploy in a different machine that it's outside of the robot, and we can have this on demand. And this is what we are trying to have ready inside the 5G era project. This was just to close the gap and to have the big overview. And now I want to leave the floor for the questions.
Well, let me check if we have some chat here. I can pull this. There is some question. I have some trouble with your speaker. I'm not very. I don't know how to see the. No. Alessandro, you have it in the chat, okay?
Yes. Okay. There was a first question, Adrian. No, okay. How are you going to move the robot, teleop, or some algorithm for exploration?
Teleop, we can do, if we want to teleop, it's only to have the HMI or the node nodes here and a way to communicate with the robot in the real robot or in another simulation. So the idea is to put another node. If you can do it in one cluster, you can do it with a gateway. You can do it in different clusters. So you can put this in a way that you can TD up a real robot. So you can, as Alessandro was saying, we can outsource some of the processes to the cloud or to the edge or the most suitable place. That's why the 5G era project is about. It's like not to put a server-like machine in the robot, but having server-like functions on the robot.
Okay, then there were some people having some problem to connect to the EC2, but I've seen that Bartos updated some permissions, so maybe I hope that they were able to access the EC2. Okay, Michael said at 11:47 that after 11 minutes, the RVs and Gazebo client are still pending and not ready. While all the other pods are ready, running.
Pending. If you're having this problem, let's check if you could do this is kubectl get pods. Get pods. So you will see the server, Gazebo server. You will select this pod because your name will change. Select this, copy, and kubectl describe pod, and copy this, and you will have here at the end. You will have, if you have some problems, maybe if you can pass on the chat what is going on there. Anyone else has this kind of problems? Only
the chat was only Michael.
Michael. Okay, let's check if you have here some events or something that says that I don't know, have this pressure, or maybe if that's something that could happen if you select wrong the nodes. That's something, if you select, for example, the medium or the large, not the extra large, you will we have some restrictions on the manifest. I'm going to show you.
Yes, indeed. I remember that when I was trying the workshop that Guillaume created, I did wrong. I selected not the A extra large, but only the large, and was not able to run the simulation because the CPUs were not enough.
Okay, let's see the gazebo, no, GZ server. Okay, if you go, it's a little bit long here, but there is a place here, descriptions. Okay, go around this going. Okay, this is, we need one CPU, I think one CPU, and we need also here for this, you need at least 1.3 CPUs. If your machine is already overloaded, your Kubernetes won't deploy here anything else. That's why we ask something with four nodes. To check if your machine is correctly created, kubectl get nodes -o wide, and let's see. Okay, not the information I was looking for, but let's go, for example, to check this one, and let's go to a describe. kubectl describe node, and we are going to puzzle here, and so it will display a lot of information, but the things you need is capabilities, CPU 4. If you have less than 4, maybe you have a problem with that. Please check that. This is a basic check you need to do. If this is what that my colleague happened during the rehearsal, so it's quite common to mistake with that. And also check that you have 3 nodes. That's easy. And let's go node. I think it's node metrics. Describe. I don't remember how to make there is another way to. Now we have for example, you see that this node is in 38% loaded. But if we go, okay, if we go here, I assure you that the load will spike up. For example, if you go here, you see that the CPU is burning here. And for example, let's see, I don't know how to make metrics. kubectl get node metrics. Obtaining by matrix. I don't remember how to do that. So I do it with kubectl web metrics. Okay. Collecting. Okay, let's go puzzle here. No, have to. But I use a K9S. Let's go and check this. This is a quite interesting tool. It's a console NCures interface for Kubernetes. I'm going to install it. It's quite easy to install.
Then later we have 2 more questions.
Okay, let's please.
Okay, both from Renzi. The first one is there any load balancing policy configured for the Kubernetes cluster? And can we specify the resource requirement of the pods?
Of course, you can. The load balancing is doing internally by Kubernetes, if I understand it correctly. And yes, you can specify the limits and the capabilities. So if we go back to this, you see that I have a resources request, but I can make a limit also. So this pod requires at least 0.3 CPUs available. So it won't deploy if this pod won't deploy if the adapt of all resources of memory or CPU, even disk, is met. So if you have less, you won't have it won't be. That's what I'm suspecting that is happening in Star with Michael. So let's go here, K9S. So you can see this is a more easier way to do. Let's go to default, and we can check to nodes. And nodes metrics, we have CPU, and you can see I have a CPU warning because I am having high spikes on that. And nodes, I'm going to do that. And you can see we are, for example, I'm having 4 pods, and we are using almost the full capability of this node. The capabilities of this node is at 94%. So this is the Gazebo client. If I switch off the Gazebo client, in few moments, you will see that this goes down. But for example, if I go to the deployments here, GZ client, I'm going to put this and search. Sorry, this is the, I specify that for this particular pod, I need 3 CPUs. That's why if you see on the RBIT, on the K9S, you can see that this one is almost, now you see that I stopped this and the Gazebo client goes to 70% or 70 milli CPUs. So the CPU usage drops drastically with that. So you can see that's why I wanted to install the metrics, because maybe you have some problems with that. I'm going to put it again in this. So
in the meantime, there is the last question from Renzi. Have you tested the GPU, Grafica
Not at the moment.
add-on on the Kubernetes? Is that useful on accelerating the simulation?
We didn't try it because I don't know how it will perform with the interaction of the clients. But it's something we can try. But be in mind that the machines that use the GPU on the cloud, they are quite expensive, as you know. But we can try it. If, for example, we in Rodnik have some kind of public repositories, then you can download some, for example, for the Summit Excel and the RB1 base, you can download a Docker image, and they do not in a separate way like here. You can do it, you have Linux, you can experience you can use the simulation without the need of Kubernetes. You only need Docker. But it's something we are going to explore in the future, for sure.
Okay, there are no more questions. I think Renzi also say thanks for your answer. And I don't know if
Michael, you can tell us if that we solved your problem.
Yes. In the meantime, I want to thanks Marius from EBOS to have shared this workshop on the website. Also, the people from Bedfordshire University, Renzi as a primary person, to thanks them for the manage of the permission of the Amazon Web Services, the access that we get to